welcome to another part of the paddock. We're in the far extreme end of the paddock, and if you want to know how extreme, well, this extreme, over there you can see the door end, and round about where we have those flags over there, round about where we have the white flag, that's more or less where the drivers return from the Nordschleife onto the modern day racetrack. So we're really at the very, very end. And traditionally, in this place, in this little corner, you will find Mercedes World. And in Mercedes World, of course, you can find anything and everything that has anything whatsoever to do with Mercedes. So to my left here, you have a drinks bar and a food bar. They actually serve pretty decent food here. It's when the weather's warm, they make sure that they have nice and freshly cooled drinks for you. If it's really cold and rainy, they make sure they have blue wine and that they have coffee, which I think they usually also have hot chocolate. So if you're freezing, this is also a good place to go and try and warm up a little bit. And over there, you can see the big pavilion, which is mostly for VIP guests. But a little part all the way over there, let's see if I can point at it, where's my camera? Over there, all the way over there. That is the bit where the actual, well, the normal fans like you and me used to get to go. But the big glassy part is mainly for VIP guests, VIP, and well, very important other people. What we do have directly in front of this building is quite interesting. We have a Jubilee car here because this year Mercedes is celebrating 50 years of driving performance, and what better way to celebrate that at 24 hours of the NÜrburgring than by putting a big Mercedes AMG GT3 in front of your pavilion, spraying it in a really cool color of grey, and then putting your Jubilee stickers on the side. I'll zoom in a bit so that you can see 50 years of driving performance. And to further celebrate this fact, they have given us a set of historic Mercedes cars to give you an idea of where Mercedes has been and what kind of stuff Mercedes has done over the years. I'll take you by them very quickly. First thing here is a Formula 1 car. It's a neutral one, it doesn't have a number. I think it was a political choice because Lewis Hamilton has the most fans, but Nico Rosberg is German, and of course he won the title last year, but they chose a neutral one, and of course we know this one. This is a Mercedes Formula 1 car. If you go to the side a little bit, there's a very interesting car for GT fans. Maybe people remember this car from 2013. You can also see it on the glass in the back. This is the car that Schneider gets used to win the 24 hours of Spa. And I'm not sure where Mercedes kept it, but wherever it was, they never ever cleaned it. Because if you look up close, most of Spa's gravel pits and dirt is still on the front of this car. So I guess then we know that it is the actual one. Beside this, we have an old DTM car. It's from 2001, which is from directly after DTM's restart, which began in 2000. This is Bernd Scheider's car, where the old D2 maybe you remember it from all those years ago. And of course, Mercedes had to put one of these cars in because DTM is so incredibly iconic here in Germany, they couldn't miss out on that one. Over here we find one of the older GT cars from Mercedes. They used to run it in the FIA GT World Championship. Not the one that we had 2-3 years ago, but obviously this car is from older. It's from 1997, so this is from a while back. Then we go to an interesting car. As you can see the name on the rear view mirror, the rear window, it says Ash, and this isn't actually Sebastian Ash, the guy who is running in the 24 hours of the Nürburgring for Mercedes this year, but it's actually a car that used to belong to his father, Roland Ash. And the man is still quite well known among German GT fans, and that's also why it was very funny that Sebastian Ash last year, when he did GT Masters, teamed up with Luca Ludwig, who was the son of another very famous German GT driver, namely Klaus Ludwig. And then finally, we have a car from 1971. I am not exactly certain what they raced with this, but it looks incredibly epic. And you can just see all those stickers, and it's really typical for the time, because at the time you really used to have all these screamy stickers and the bright colors. And of course, back at the time, you didn't have the Mercedes logo like printed on your grille. No, it was stuck on top of the car. Right next to this, we have a Mercedes French shop. So if you're a boy in Benz or a girl in Benz, which is just as possible, it doesn't have to be have the bit that I pointed out to you earlier. This is the private area where everyday fans can sit. Mercedes provides you with a few walls, so if it's windy you're sheltered. It has a roof, so if it rains you'll be dry. And of course, you will get a TV screen with live timing on it. And as well, you get a little bit of a live view. Because as I said, we're at the far extreme end of the paddock at this point. And near the white flags that I pointed out earlier is where the cars leave the Nordschleife and come back to the Grand Prix track. And this is actually the reverse point. This is where the cars leave the modern day track and go on to the old Nordschleife. The cars that you see right now belong to the classic race. These are cars that used to race in the 24 hours but no longer can because they fail homologation. And then finally we move on to the bit where Mercedes has its most recent cars. Of course, they have a lot of AMGs. This is a green one, it's a bit like Kermit the Frog, only with wheels. This one has a more traditional color scheme. It's the grey one with the yellow stripes that Mercedes used when the original AMG, not the street version like we have here, but the actual race version premiered. It premiered about 2 years ago now on the Nordschleife on this track in a VLN race, somewhere towards the end of the year, and it had those colors, but they're even white ones. And before I go to the most famous car and the one that Mercedes is currently most proud of, I'll show you this. You may think this is just a sign for a toilet, but actually the toilets at Mercedes World are something special, because every year Mercedes finds some kind of really cool interior decoration. I won't show it to you. Actually, I can't check, and they prefer to have anyone filming in the toilets, and I kind of understand. But still, if you're here, make sure you go check it out, because it's we once had a Victorian outline. We once had something very disco. It usually pays up just to go have a look and just have a laugh. And now finally, I will take you